Welcome back to the most professional StarCraft 2, a best-of-7 grand finals, the Blue Terran. Here on Neo Humanity, it is Micro Jackson. It's ByuN. And one of the only Protoss who could even pretend to be a challenger. The #1 Protoss in the world right now. An I Am Katowice World Championship contender. He's not the Protoss we deserve, but he's the Protoss we need right now. It's herO. Yes, again for this AlphaX Red Cross Cup for charity. For the greater good, these two are going to murder each other. And I am excited to be here for it, and I hope you are as well. So I'm not even going to be subtle about it. Like, subscribe, and let's focus on the real action here. Thank you for enjoying this with me, and I hope to enjoy it indeed. Let's start things off. I mean, we're already a bit into it, but a bit of history. In their previous match, well, in many of their matches, ByuN recently has gotten the better of herO. Even though the games have been epic, they've been back and forth, ByuN right now is, honestly, he's looking potentially like a world champion. He has played some of the best StarCraft 2 of his life. And remember, he won the world championship in 2016 against Dark. And after that, the Reapers were nerfed. The siege tanks could no longer fly. ByuN had to do his obligatory military service in South Korea. But he came back, and now apparently he's stronger than ever. Going on 30 years old, which I can empathize with. And looking like he's playing the best StarCraft 2 of his whole career. I'm rooting for him. It's hard not to. But herO has also revolutionized Protoss. It kind of feels like someone has to, every now and again, as players like ByuN just get a bead on your normal Protoss style. And Protoss has always been about pulling another card out of your deck and surprising your opponent with it. And herO has been able to do that, but consistently, as opposed to relying entirely on cheeses and timings, though they're obviously an important tool. Well, ByuN's going to start with a Widowmine drop. The Adept is going to drag its Shade across the map, chasing it, and as soon as the Shade runs out, ByuN, he knows. Everyone knows what's going on here, but the question is, how much damage can it actually do? As the Widowmine drop... Hellion, taken out. The Widowmine drop, always a threat. Even if you are, quote-unquote, prepared for it, until you take out the medevac, those Widowmines remain one of the most dangerous possibilities your probes could face. At the same time, though, herO has opted for a Twilight Council. In fact, Blink already completed. Warp Prism on the way. How many gates? 4 gates. The Quad Gate Blink. Everything sounds cooler when you say it like that. Quad Gate Blink to start things out. And it looks like ByuN is well prepared so far. He knows the threat of the Blink Stalkers. He's already got a tank. He's building a second. He's even gotten a second bunker. So he's taking this very seriously at the moment. Widowmine drop on its way in. Probes relatively undefended. Of course, we'll see how quick herO reacts. He doesn't at all because he's too busy blunking forward. herO, no! 10 probes obliterated in the first volley, the first salvo out of those mines. And herO has nothing at home. He's relying entirely on the Blink Stalkers. Can he actually get any damage done here? Warping in 4 more Stalkers. Full commit. Right off the bat, these two gonna lay into each other. As herO knows, going home is a losing battle. Blunks on the tank. Auto turret on the ground. Raven gonna be sniped off. The Marines not doing enough damage to really scare the Stalkers in this scenario. A lot of them badly bruised, losing their shields, but able to blink back to some extent. 12 SCVs, 13 SCVs. Where's that Widowmine drop on the other side for counter damage? ByuN bringing it back in. The Widowmines have cooled down, but 15 SCVs have died. herO continues the aggression. Oh, ByuN? I think, oh my god, a very rare select all army out of ByuN maybe, as he flew right across. Blocks on another tank. Gets a shot. SCVs will die. Barely enough units at all. Any units from ByuN, as the boys have been pulled and 20 of them have been slaughtered. Oh, that was definitely Selecto Army as he's sending the medevac back in a moment of weakness. Possibly the weakest moment. ByuN comes back with the Widow Mines, and herO... I almost said herO Marine there for a second. herO still continues blinking forward. Great micro so far, but, I mean, you know who it is. Meanwhile, 12 more probes down. The workers, the hard-working probes and SCVs, paying the real price here. On each side, 22 to 29 worker kills, and we're not done. Those Widow Mines have not been cleaned up. Those SCVs are still on the front lines. ByuN 35, 36. War Prism intact. Barely enough bio units. I think it's a very realistic probability any other Terran would be dead right now. But ByuN, he sacrifices. But what did it cost? Almost everything. He's down to 20 workers. herO's at 29. The Widow Mine drop is still intact. Those Widow Mines, pound for pound, pulling way more than their weight, whereas herO has been opting for the heavy Blink Stalker play. Stim Pack is done, but most of those units are too badly bruised to even utilize it. herO finally looks back at his base. That Widow Mine, 14 kills. Not sure what the other one got. ByuN actually, first damage on the medevac is his own mine. Oh, we're not done. He's coming in again. It's open season here in ByuN's base, and he's going hunting for even more bio units and SCVs. The SCVs still pulled. There are mules to make up for it, but the Widow Mines have taken their pounds of probes on the other side of the map, and that has kept, those Widow Mines have kept ByuN in this game. 100 and some %. Without them, there is no chance ByuN would be recovering from this. But as it stands, he's managed to keep the probe count so close that he's competitive. Oh my god. What? He could have just hit him the whole time? That tells you how much is going on when the best players are not able to keep track of everything. herO really focused. He's got the quad stalker drop here. Blunks forward. Ghetto Blunks back into the prism. Into the natural as well. ByuN strung throughout. I love he's been building some of these like anti-warp prism walls here. And this is kind of what it is. More for charge lots and DTs than they are for Blink Stalkers, as Blink Stalkers are not your usual later game threat. But herO is getting so much mileage out of this prism, he's going to have to go for an oil change soon. But on the other side of the map, he's finally thinking about a third base. He nabs some of those golden minerals out of the wall and slaps down a third nexus. I want to take this minor lull in the action to mention we're trying out. Jimmy decided to try out some new quality settings, at least for some of the recordings. So the idea being hopefully a little higher quality. I know StarCraft's a game of action, so sometimes hard to keep track, but I want to catch as much of it as possible, as clearly as possible. Mostly just raising the bit rate and changing some of the encoding. But science. This is boring science stuff, Terry. herO still finding some damage with the Stalkers. It felt like ByuN stabilized 5 or 6 times, and then herO kept causing him to blink. ByuN now drives back the Stalkers at the front. He has nothing on herO's side of the map. Same cannot be said the other way around. As herO comes back in, the Stalkers... There's an entire city back here. This is beautiful. Is this why my FPS is lower on this map? There's a whole city going on now. It looks... I love the little... the map makers have put so much soul into their maps. Since the layout has to remain within like very strict guidelines, it's like Olympic diving, all right? The key is to not change your form at all, and that's what map makers like. They've perfected their art. Not quite like that. More like ice skating. I don't watch any of the. I watch a few clips or something, but you get what I'm going for. Beautiful. Charge lots added on, trying to keep ByuN contained. ByuN well known for his aggression, so hero's trying to stop it before it can start. But that's a whole lot of Terran there. A lot of damage output from those units, despite the fact that 11 minutes in, we have no upgrades. ByuN has only +1 on the way. The first forge from herO. And again, these two looking very evenly matched. Alright. Bio units being healed up. Robotics Bay. Immortal. For herO behind this. He's just keeping ByuN contained as long as he can. There's an observer right there, third base. ByuN knew about that observer. He was just waiting for a scan to get rid of it. So a couple Whittle mines blunked out of it. He actually got the mine. Wow. He got the mine as it was firing and still blinked out before the missile hit. Which is a bold move because technically the moment it fires, it's revealed. So the projectile is on the way. Rarely do you see people risk it to that extent, but I mean, it's herO. Ghost Academy in the production tab as ByuN reaches out for his third. herO already has a fourth Nexus in this slugfest so far. Neither of them huge on the worker count, 63 to 53 in favor of the Protoss. But, of course, Mule's got to factor in, and that means ByuN is near even on income. Single zoning. He's got a medevac back here. ByuN understands static defense are to buy time. They're not the means to an end. They're just part of the journey. And anything you can do to delay or deflect things like the Prism. But at some point, is this going to become like a standard move, is just having a defensive squad here? With a medevac to deal with the Prism. That Prism just running the entire Terran army around. I'd love little things like that. It is a big supply investment, but I wonder if that's the kind of stuff that's going to continue developing as we get even more advanced in StarCraft 2. Charge lots, though. ByuN forced back. Observers spotting all this. hero's had near perfect vision throughout the game. He knows the map can be dark and full of Terrans. No, wait, you select all army. Oh my god. The observers. Both these players obviously stressed here. While the Red Cross Cup might not be the World Championship, still quite a prize pool on the line. Shout out to AlphaX for putting on so many of these events and essentially being a major contributor to ByuN's retirement. He plays in like all of them. And I'm very happy about it. Alright. Well, what does the army look like? We got Colossi, we got charge lots, upgrades, +1, both sides, +1 armor finishing for ByuN, giving him a slight advantage. No disruptors, no storm, a handful of ghosts, no Vikings even. Oh, a couple Vikings with the army. EMPs land across the bow. Colossi trying to burn through, but the Marauders in front soaking a lot of the damage. Vikings doing what they can, but they're down for the count. The Bio army is mostly zoned out by the force fields, but ByuN doesn't take too much in the way of losses. Is going to wind up and come in again with a reheal. The shields still have not come back for much of herO's army. A couple more Vikings starting to soften up the Colossi. A few well-placed Marauder shots could finish them off. Blinks out of a mine. Is there an armory done? No. Let alone started, actually. No armory at all for ByuN here. Oh my god, the Marauder count. It's just survival of the fittest, and when you have over twice as much HP and don't take bonus damage to Colossi, I guess that's considered more fit. It's not fat. It's thick. Okay? I cost 2 supply. Moving on. Plus 2 ground weapons for herO coming up. Not really relevant for the Disruptor that's gliding into the fight, but ByuN, while he can respect them, he isn't particularly afraid of them. Especially if there are too many, actually. It does seem to be when ByuN is able to jump on them, but I think 3 or 4 Disruptors added into any army just makes it so much more dangerous to engage into, and it seems herO agrees, but ByuN spots him looking the wrong way! Those rocks told ByuN what everything was about here, and ByuN jumps on the opportunity, eats a couple backhands with the Disruptors, but with no more shots, herO is forced all the way back, loses 2 Colossi at the first part of the fight. The third one is next on the docket. Disruptor shot. Wards away for half a second or so, and ByuN continues the charge forward. No more Ruptors with this. Trying to come down the ramp is herO. Kind of cornered into his own base. Shield battery overcharge helping out a lot. Blink Stalkers down to the low ground. Help to deal with this. And that single Colossus is the only splash damage in the army right now. Against this well-supported Bio. Though many of these units, the medevacs are out of energy because ByuN has so much of them, with these constant stims doing almost as much damage as the rest. Disruptor wandering up, Widowmine connects, EMPs onto the sentries. Every sentry out of energy. That Guardian Shield will be the last, and that's possibly the most important part of all this. Reducing that bio damage. Targets a Ruptor. The Marauder's in the red. He keeps kiting back, though, the concussive shells, keeping the Protoss at bay. Blink Stalkers trying to take advantage of the charge lot space. This fight keeps going. herO is pursuing, but ByuN continues to fire shots back at him. And as they chase each other across the map, it looks like ByuN actually had a significantly better trade, especially in gas overall, killing 29 charge lots as well. But herO had the better economy to fall back on and the better production. He has 11 gates to 5 barracks, not exactly equivalent, especially because reactors exist, but herO really using it. Dodges into the medevacs, knowing he can't outrun it on the ground. Drops back out to support the fight. A whole lot of charge lots wandering in. One more disruptor shot, but that one at risk of hitting more charge lots than anything else. The boys are pre-pulled from ByuN as he decides with no disruptors off cooldown, it's time to fight the SCVs for the second time this game onto the front lines, but this time part of an aggressive, this time the start of an offensive, as opposed to the last line before destruction. Mules drop, 18 SCVs down, but herO has been whittling down. He's done such an incredible job of containing ByuN, despite ByuN's obvious strengths at macro and micro, especially micro. Like, herO has stayed right up in his face, slightly out of swinging distance, just ever so slightly. You give up too much ground and ByuN will just go around you, but you give up nothing and he might break you. So right now herO has been putting on a bit of a masterclass of containing a Terran. Oh, that disruptor, almost, but not quite. The medevac count is so damn high, but they're all out of energy because ByuN refuses to stop stimming. Another sentry brought up. Sentries, little speed buff in the patch allows them to glide their way into the fray a little bit easier. And I think a bit of a quality of life buff in most cases. Those EMPs with a slightly reduced radius and disruptors as well, clearly having an impact on these fights. Lessening the one-shot potential, essentially, of both those units, and doing incredible damage. Well, here comes ByuN, another stim. Disruptor shots, force field, curves into one. herO's got to be very careful not to overextend. This is, we don't have him not even close to 2-2. This game is so close, neither side even thinking about the next level of upgrades. Just +2 attack in 1-1. herO with +2 attack and ByuN at +1/+1. So herO has another base here, only 67 probes though. He's focused so much on production. ByuN keeps losing SCVs, but the mules have kept him mostly intact. But he's starting to really fall behind in these fights. Almost every time he starts dropping a little more in supply. He still has the medevacs though. He still has a lot of ghosts. Still has even a handful of Vikings. Gonna try to chase down this army. Where are the disruptors? There's an immortal. Where are the disruptors? Without the disrupt, okay. A couple wandering into the screen there from stage left, or I don't. Is this north? No, I'm an actor. Medevacs continue, just out of energy. Keeps them from getting feedback if there were ever to be any Templar. I'm sure that's the intent. Another mine cleared up. The value somewhat reduced by the lack of armory here. Medevacs still overlooking the entire bio army as ByuN, trying to find that fight that could turn the tides. He needs to try to draw out disruptor shots or just snipe out the Ruptors in general, and then jump on the army after stripping away the shield. Oh, he just targets the Ruptor, walks up and blows it up while the army's falling back. The confidence there required in this sort of situation. And suddenly herO, well, he does have guardianship. He's really focused on these sentries. Very cool to see. Though, incredibly, there's just a command center in the air. Is that, are there charge lots, or is he just... ByuN is looking for wherever he can find a mine. Some more mines being cleared up. Different type. Charge lots wandering around the corner here. Still that one Colossus to add some damage on the back line. Another Guardian Shield. Constant Guardian Shields. herO really prioritizing that. Oh, Widowmine connects. The army supplies remain very close to even. This is so tense. One bad fight. ByuN is a lot closer to the edge right now, but herO doesn't have a lot of leeway either, as this Terran army can snowball out of control incredibly quickly, especially since there's no real fallback tech. Oh my god, the Disruptor wanders a bit forward. ByuN, the EMP's landed, the Disruptor's got too far forward, and suddenly ByuN is finding his opportunity. Some ghosts added in, not bad against the charge lots, just as part of the bio army. More charge lots into the natural, though, have delayed even more of ByuN's reinforcements. Ghosts, some Widow Mines, everything's just a fancy marine to ByuN. Falling back, but herO... he didn't even have an observer, just instinct here. As herO goes up into ByuN's outlying base. EMP lands, before a Guardian Shield. Nothing for the sentries here. ByuN still so dangerous, despite being on a shoestring budget this whole time. As long as those shoes are strapped on a few Marauders and Ghosts, ByuN's happy. Still a bit of a precarious position. Okay, Disruptor, zoning. A little lazy on that one. Oh, another Widowmine, though, wanders up. Gets some damage. ByuN swings in the other side, dodges back. Disruptor doesn't connect. herO can't seem to keep ByuN off his back. More EMPs. Vikings might get the Colossus. The Marauders are chasing it down. The Colossus knocked to the floor. ByuN has held the line for so long. He's given so much. But it looks like, barring a uncharacteristic Disruptor hit, he may very well have turned this all the way around. 2 more Disruptors show up. ByuN has the army supplies closing in on the bases he couldn't take before. Disruptor gets a Marauder and a Marine. He still has barely, actually mules. Charge lots in here. herO never got those upgrades. He didn't. His army has been reliant on being less cost-effective, but just keeping ByuN from building his army up. The problem is now ByuN has that army. He has the army supply to throw his weight around. Oh my god. He fires everything. Oh, you gotta get out of there. Yeah, immediate recall, understanding. He's left with all he's gotta reload. That was one way to cover your recall, but herO, his supply. God, ByuN is so dangerous. I can't even, if you asked me to point out where he made a mistake, I think all the mistakes that you could argue here are more strategic than tactical. As, was it better to go towards heavier upgrades to commit to a timing before ByuN got another base running? It's an incredibly hard and possibly unanswerable question. I wonder if herO would do anything differently, but it felt like he had ByuN, most dangerous when cornered, even against Disruptors, maybe especially. Yeah, it looks close, but then here come the reinforcements. The Marauders come stimming in, and herO knocked down the 40 supply. What a turnaround! Oh no! Oh, that does not bode well for herO. Still a hectic game. It really felt like herO was securing the map, but he's like a cornered tiger or other animal. Most animals don't like being cornered, especially animals like ByuN. But, oh my. Yeah, he just doesn't know how to lose right now. And that's it. That's just game one. Not it. It's just a very rough start. I don't know. Well, I've seen these games go either way. Jimmy, game 2. Before I can wander over my words more, Yes, I know we have to load the it's much better than waiting for the players to show up. They sometimes have to sit down. Sometimes, like, somebody's mouse is on the wrong settings or something. We have to sit there for 5 minutes so they figure that out. Yes, but it's live. Well, next best thing. Like and subscribe. Wow, though. Oh, my God. I can't stress how close ByuN was to losing. It felt like most of the game. He lost... How do you lose 40 SCVs? How do you lose 40 SCVs? That's more than most Bronze Leaguers make the entire game. 40 SCVs before, like, 70 supply. But he lived. And just ground his way back. And that... I think the upgrades, maybe. That's why we see a lot of the time DTs added in. The double Ds of danger. Alright? Dark Templar and Disruptors. Because the DTs can hit and backstab better and more consistently than charge lots. They are expensive, though. And herO definitely wasn't rich throughout that game. The Widowmine drops kept him contained. Yeah, that's not something to scoff at either. So much going on there. Unfortunately, though, I will say, maybe a bit either self-servingly or counter. I don't know if this is good or bad for me to say, but I'm gonna say it. It's those kind of games that make me want to play less ladder and do more commentary. You might be like, Winter, you play ladder? Well, yes, I do, actually. You can check out the stream at horrible times for most people. The night shift. Look, that's how I keep my skin so smooth. But I've... Pro tips. Subscribe for more lifestyle tips. But I understand some semblance of how difficult that it was for both sides to even try to keep track of. But I can't imagine. And ByuN does that all day. herO as well, but ByuN played somewhere like 200 pro games this month, making up for the time he spent going to LAN tournaments in December. Last year, ByuN played 1,000. I looked this up just to compare. He played the most pro games, or very close, of any player. Around 1,900. Yes. In a year, not in total. So, did you play 1,900 games? Did you play 1,900 games with money on the line? So... And he won about a little over 2/3 of them, maybe 68, 69% or so. So, pretty nice win, right? Fact check me. Alright. This is probe checking, though, as in come a couple Reapers. He just killed 5. Okay. He just killed 5, but he just walked up and killed 5 probes. So, and the Reaper's still alive, because of course it is. Interesting battery placement for herO. I guess that's the best play. It doesn't really block that back patch, and it covers. Okay. Always interesting to see where players put them. Phoenixes have kind of come out as... If you don't go Stargate, you're opening yourself up to Widowmine drops. If you are going Stargate, you're still open to Widowmines. Thank you for demonstrating. And even though the Widowmine... Well, put him down! The thing is, the only way to semi-reliably shut down the medevac is with the Phoenixes. Stalkers can't always be in position, nor... and they also don't fly. So, we've seen Stargate into Phoenix as the most reliable strategy. MaxPack's also starting to use this a little more, though he still loves his Twilight very much. Oh, not again. I can't look at this again. Last time herO's Phoenixes and their weird dances, their patrol pathings, they're hypnotizing. I can't handle it. So, nope, too much. Okay, I'll let you guys look. I'm gonna drink some water. Stay hydrated. It's like watching the planets orbit with a moon or something. Oh no, not more. Oh my gosh. They're just, oh god, I can't do it. Oh wow. Ah, it was bait. Or he didn't care either way, but adepts. Shade into the main. He'll confirm. Wait. No, there's no way he thinks that's actually a factory. Wow, that's awkward. He only saw the tech lab upgrading. Is he gonna believe that's a factory? That's very misleading. You may very well think it's the Cyclone? No, it's very likely a normal tech lab. There's a real chance, though, if he does think it's a factory upgrading, like drilling claws or magfield. Obviously, the most likely chance is just stim or combat shield, but alright. Observer gets in, spots it. I'm speculating about nothing. It's most of my job, though. So, here we are. Observer is actually in the base, despite the Raven. In surveillance mode, has slightly more detection range, but oh no, ByuN spotted it. Yeah, now he's out for mechanical blood. Oh, the Phoenixes! He mistargeted the Raven. No! It's actually very hard to target correctly with Phoenixes because they'll just attack anything close. So you have to constantly be in range and retarget. It's one of the most finicky things. But at the same time, oh, he came in for the Raven, and he didn't get it. Which, that is very rough. He needs every little bit he can, because the big weakness of going for Phoenixes into a heavy tech play like Colossus is your basic ground defenses are very thin. You have barely any gateway units, certainly no upgrades. You're entirely reliant on these heavy tech units being extra force multipliers, essentially, to keep you intact. Uses that high ground to break. He's going double star Phoenix. What a... wow. But anti-armor missile, though. The Terran army just stimming in. Shield battery overcharge used for now. So Little Mun throws a lock there. ByuN does want to fight when he has that anti-armor missile. It's 2 Colossi, though. Extended Thermal Lance about to complete mid-fight. Oh, ByuN just runs away. 2 Stargate against Terran. herO. Interesting. This is full-on Phoenix Colossus. +1 air weapon. The first upgrade is +1 air weapon. That game against Max Packs must have done something to herO. As Phoenix is... He got a taste for Phoenixes. Now he can never go back. You pull his mask off. And, oh my god, it was Roddy the whole time! It's kind of crazy. This was a Wings of Liberty strategy, but in Wings of Liberty, it was a little easier to maneuver your army to block a Terran. Partially because medevac boost just didn't exist. That was one big part. And also players in general were not as efficient with their smaller units. So broader strokes like just kind of A-moving into Colossi were much more common. Also, Colossi were better because they did flat damage instead of a smaller amount of damage and a bonus against light. So, more effective against Marauder. So, in general, by most counts, this strategy is once again, on paper, which we don't play StarCraft on paper, despite what many players think. On paper, they're actually somewhat worse, but this is an incredibly micro-heavy composition, which can very much favor a player like herO. Giving him, well, one, Phoenixes give you almost constant scouting. You're right on the edge of the army. You're always taking a look at what he's up to. They have a lot more micro potential than, say, even like Blink Stalkers over the course of a game, with less risk. As Blink Stalkers, he's going Phoenix range. Oh my. It's like the strategy is Phoenixes. Everything else is secondary. He built 3 Colossi. He's getting charged +1. We'll see. It does feel like this army is incredibly vulnerable to EMP. But then again, that's the majority of Protoss. As the EMP wipes out not only the shields, but the energy here. The Viking count, high. Oh, throws an EMP out. Some shield battery energy used. herO's actually a little supply blocked already. Another EMP. And now most of the shields stripped away from the Phoenixes there. No ship weapons upgrades. +1 air. Phoenix range is done, so they can kind of compete. Another thing is that air units stack up. They can be in those relatively tight groups, which makes it that much easier to land the EMPs. Also, things like Widow Mines become... Oh, no. He doesn't have the... Oh, wow, he saw it. He saw the indent. Oh my god, he missed with the Disruptor. Just do the Colossus thing. Does he know he missed? He doesn't have detect... Oh, no. He may have just thrown it out and moved on to other things. Oh, no. Well, he spots it. But the main army is the real issue here. Recharge at that moment. ByuN picks up. And he goes to the main. Now here's the most difficult part. Is how do you split your army? He EMP'd the Nexus to prevent recall. Phoenixes, but EMP, no more pickups past that. The Marines. More than enough to deal with it. He's gunning down a lot of the Phoenixes with essentially just Marines. Gonna lose the medevac here, but D-Power's one of the Stargates that's building carriers, by the way. ByuN, the entire army came back. That was but a fraction of his power. In fact, that was maybe a third of the total army. This base is just completely obliterated as ByuN brings in the rest. That was mostly the sacrificial lambs he threw out there. Getting any damage was a bonus, but he knew herO would have to come back with his brittle unit composition, as the Phoenixes alone weren't going to clean it up. Disruptor. Ooh, almost missed again. Right on the edge of it. Carrier has arrived, but this is not an army that's particularly vulnerable. EMPs across the board. Disruptors, not quite able to close the distance. ByuN, those Vikings still? The Vikings got a slight buff as well, by the way. Vikings now have a lower damage point, which is not more damage. It is also not more DPS, but they attack faster into their animation. So, for example, Marines have a low damage point. Adepts have a high one. So that's why Adepts have to kind of sit around for a bit and wait for the attack to go off. So the effect is this makes Vikings somewhat more microbial. The Hydra also got a damage point reduction for similar reasons. Another drop into the main. He knows it's a bit of a sore spot, and he's looking to pound on that a little bit more. ByuN, 14 probes dead. Vikings, the carrier automatically targeted, but I'm sure he's choosing which one he wants dead. The main base is gone. The third base, it will hold for now, but herO, the supply tells the story. Yeah, it appears that the Phoenix were a cool idea, but at no point did it really feel like ByuN was at risk. As opposed to the previous game, this time it was just ByuN figuring out how to pick it apart, as opposed to how to survive a few minutes longer. Maybe if you get enough carriers, but the Marauders are just walking through. Yeah, the carriers, not it. I appreciate the attempt there from herO. Definitely something different, but just too many vulnerabilities to the Terran units that you're going to see on a regular basis. In my humble commentator opinion, I would love to see Phoenixes used more, but unless they got something like, I don't know, the battle cruiser, or like the co-op Phoenixes, I think this would be cool to try. Roddy, get on board. Roddy, I'm speaking to you right now. What if Phoenixes, their lift was a cooldown with no energy bar? So that way, if they get EMP'd, then one, you can't just lift everything at once, and two, they're not as vulnerable to things like EMP. So that way, you can at least be a little more consistent with them. Well, speaking of consistent, that is something I wouldn't use as we go into Game 3 to describe these players. Because, wait, did they switch colors? No, they didn't. Never mind. They are consistent. I was making a great joke until I realized I was the one who messed it up. Jimmy! I mean, Jimmy was the one who messed it up. So, not great so far for herO. One close game that maybe had a slight edge for the Korean Protoss, and one not so close with some creativity there, but herO has come back from larger deficits before, so maybe not against this particular opponent. Right now, the Red Cross Cup is looking very much favorited for the blue Terran. I hope, you know what, a little more meta commentary as we start things off with the 2 games. I hope ByuN doesn't become so good he becomes like a herO. Okay? I mean, I love watching herO, but he's just so good that there's almost no surprises. You don't know exactly what he's going to do, but you know what the outcome should look like. Which makes, of course, many of the games where he isn't as successful the most interesting. I'm thinking of like herO versus Showtime or Zhao. Or ByuN even. But overall, well, also herO keeps it fresh by not playing in every single tournament. That, like, I feel like if everybody, stop right there. Okay, we're back. You see, like I said, you're getting the most efficient version of this series. I hope you're enjoying it. But, not to get derailed, I feel like if I held $20 outside, like I just like held it out a window and I said, who wants to play a best of 3 for it? Somehow ByuN would know and give me a call. Please call me, ByuN. That'd be great. At some point, maybe after IEM, we'll see if I can interview. Yeah. At this point, I feel obligated. Like, also Cure. You know who needs an interview is Cure. Where, I don't know if I have the mental strength to show Cure some of my commentary of him. From what I've seen in the few interviews, I think he'd be a good sport about it. But he also might just end up hating me. He may already hate me. But that is too much to think about as someone who commentates StarCraft games for a living. So we're going to land on, he's probably a good sport about it. And he's pretty good at StarCraft, so hedging my bets now. He's good. He's very good. It's just he's not flashy, which kind of sets him apart, okay? Like, you can like... There's nothing wrong with liking vanilla. But vanilla doesn't kill 5 probes and then get away with 2 Reapers. No, that's like caramel spice with a touch of vodka or something. I don't... Maybe more than a touch. As somehow ByuN comes in again with a Hellion and 2 Reapers and gets out, despite the existence of several Stalkers, and gets out with 2 Reaper. And the Reapers are one of the most consistent scouting units, especially since they don't cost you too much time on your tech in the early game. Both the fact they exist forces herO to kind of play more defensive, and 2, I mean, they can jump up cliffs. Usually, they should be used as cameramen for most players, as opposed to a legitimate damage unit, but ByuN says, "Por qué no los dos?" Though he probably doesn't say it quite like that. Widowmine Marine combo drop. Headed towards the main. Reaper, a little bit mistimed, but, oh my god. The instinct on that. He knew. He knew he flew over an observer, didn't he? Wow. Either he knew he flew over the one on the other side, I think. I'm not sure if he saw this one, but also just the instinct to say, well, when I lose my Reaper there, he's probably going to think I'm going somewhere else. And now we have 8 Stalkers staring very angrily, including the observer who's sitting right outside the window. You guys see that out there? No? Did any of you bring a scan? Just don't look out the window. Or down. Can any of you swim? Oh, I forgot about the power armor. All right, we're in for some chop. Meanwhile, ByuN is sending the rescue team. As that medevac pinned down, but the stalkers will have to be pulled away. Still one stalker on each side. The Liberator comes in, taking advantage of the fact that most of the stalkers are tied up with other activities. 5 probes down. Liberator also a little bit cheaper. Only 125 gas down from 150, so 150, 125 now. That combined with the Raven being 150, 150, as opposed to 150, 200, that's 75 gas. That's a free Viking right there. Give or take. You can save on, but, well, it's gonna take more than a Viking to save this. A Raven made, well, how does he do this? ByuN just turned what looked to be a potentially game-losing attack. The medevac comes out. I think the medevac itself died, but it got 3 Marines out. He lost the... What? How does he do this? How did he just turn what was potentially a loss of the entire game into a winning position? That medevac drop came out, helped kill a few probes. Liberator came in, eventually taken out. He got just enough units looking the wrong way, including an Immortal who came into the fight. And now ByuN has a 6-worker lead. And does he still have that Raven? Yeah. The Raven lived. And now it's headed out to go be mildly annoying with auto turrets. The Raven, essentially the Terran Oracle now, as it has similar strengths, costs the same, and builds in about the same amount of time. But herO has had enough. Okay, a Widow Mine. He's gonna dodge out. Oh, loses the Observer, but not that relevant since the Armory is not completed or started. Widow Mines taken out. A handful of bio units, still a long way off. +1 infantry weapons, not so much. The Raven on the other side. SCVs pulled off the line. Reminiscent of Game 1, with both sides really laying into the economy and minimizing the army supply. 7 SCVs down. herO has caught up and surpassed ByuN in the worker count. Upgrades. Is there a forge? No forge. Despite the buff to upgrades, aka they take best time to build, getting the forge and investing in those upgrades, the upgrades still cost the same, is the issue here that seems to be facing herO. And since they're still quite an investment, that means that he's kind of holding off them for quite a while here, despite going straight for a Dark Shrine. We've had 3 somewhat significantly different games. This is obviously a lot closer to Game 1. But herO now... I don't want to call it flailing, because it's not. I'm sure he has practiced many of these strategies many times. But he is kind of rotating through his options to see what sticks. This is very nice. Unless he doesn't actually get the medevac. Oh, he wasn't looking... Somehow the medevac survived. All right, I didn't write this script. Oh, that was a missed opportunity there. The DT is definitely unexpected, but a scan comes out and will cover as the turret comes up. And also, ByuN already knows the stalkers were back at home. He already knows they aren't coming across the map to the front. So I think he's feeling a little more confident in sending all his units in. The Widow Mine drop comes through. Oh no. Ah! Oh no. He's not even done. Not again. No. herO unburrows, reburrows. Even though he might lose the mine. Like, 12 kills. 12 kills on a medevac that should have died before it even got to the main. Is there an armory? Okay, he's gonna clean up the Widow Mines in the main, but ByuN again. DT Blink is gonna finish before Vanilla Blink. ByuN Stim that will take down these rocks. An intimidation move. Oh no. Anti-armor missile. Added on. The Widow Mines will connect, soften up the charge lots that have already been shredded. And infantry armor is done. Whoa, okay, there's almost nothing to protect these main units. Anti-armor missile also reduces shield effectiveness. So it does work on those Archons. Immortal down, another Immortal down. He can't help but wander the Raven in, finally. A bit of a mistake, but I don't know if it's large enough to turn the tides, as right now the tsunami of Terran is coming in. Trying to juggle the Immortal. Shield battery overcharge in a good position. And with that Immortal and overcharge, herO will hold for now. Ghost Academy on the way. +1 ground. The upgrades are just not there so far this series. Oh, herO is just not finding them. ByuN has kept so much pressure on, and he's done it so efficiently. Like a single medevac, a single Raven. He's not committing more than, never more than 10 army supply. Yet he, a single Liberator. Yet he's found such damage. I will point out yet again, I think the key turning point was the medevac over on this side. herO had committed his Stalkers back at his base. He wasn't putting any pressure on the front. He was setting up to snipe a medevac. A medevac with 4 Widow Mines comes over, yet he does not manage to kill it in time. And that really hurts. I can't, oh my god. He saw the shimmer. He felt a disturbance. No, you can see it. It's pretty clear if it's moving, and you play more games per day in tournaments than almost everyone does, even on the ladder. I don't even think units are cloaked for ByuN anymore. They're just... They can't be hit, but you can just see them. Rarely do I see things like DTs walk by ByuN's army without him at least reacting to their existence. Even if they're not attacking. Oh god, he's just stimming in. Shield battery overcharge. What shield battery? Widow Mine on the back line. ByuN drove right in. herO was setting up a surround, but has ByuN already done too much damage before it started? The charge lots are chasing, but caught between a rock and a hard place right now. Force fields. Charge lots have to go around. Honestly, I haven't seen force fields favor a Protoss in a while. Oh no. The minefield is intact. Are there any observers? Not even close to this. Oh no. He can't. There is no retreat. He doesn't even know. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. The barriers are triggered. Key units destroyed. herO may have been able to hold the line, but everything crumbled behind him, and with it the Nexus. herO is ranked 4th in the world right now. ByuN's ranked 3rd, behind Maru and SC2. Yet, this series so far, and his series against Raynor, who's 5th, I need to see ByuN versus Maru and ByuN versus SC2. And guess what? World Championships, he's in the same group as Maru, and TVT is a very different beast than TVP and Z. Much more technical. Not that ByuN can't handle that, but it'll be very interesting to see. But I can't pretend like this is close. Like, ByuN is... Every close fight, every fight that even seems a little herO favored, eventually turns towards ByuN. He just dodged his own CC while EMPing the Dark Templar for detection, while leaving the scan energy. Actually, I don't know. He might have hit the CC as well. But 2-2's done. It's beautiful and terrifying to watch. And herO still has done so much damage. But are we gonna base trade a Terran? Does he have recall? No. Used it. I'm not sure on what even, as there's not much at home to defend. herO working forward. His army looking quite thin here. And ByuN is setting up a concave once again. Not sure who's flanking who. No, I am pretty sure. It's ByuN. Another disruptor shot. Oh my god, the disruptor died. They all died. They're all dead. 2-2's done against just +2 attack. The armor's not there. The Colossi aren't there. The disruptors aren't there. And the game is not there. ByuN 3. Match point. Oh my. ByuN is looking like the better player. I feel like the Neo-Humanity game definitely didn't help herO's confidence. As, that he had the edge and it slipped. And since then it's been ByuN finding... It hasn't been easy. By no means are these easy things to accomplish. But he makes it look relatively simple. Alright. We need a herO. Game 4. Potentially our final match of this AlphaX Red Cross Cup. I encourage you, check out Team AlphaX. They have a Discord as well. You can get updates on other tournaments, usually streamed on Twitch, if you want to watch live. Though hopefully you do also enjoy my commentary. But they've been integral in a lot of the smaller, like, non-ESL weekly or World Championship style events. And honestly, that comes up with some of the most interesting matches. Though, I think this match is interesting. But, not what I hoped for exactly going in. But, the ByUndertaker might be digging another grave for another world-class opponent. He keeps getting better. Like... This Reaper Hellion opener... Alright. Let me think. Ancient Cistern does not have a ramp to the natural. Royal Blood does not have a ramp to the natural. He went Reaper Hellion on both maps. No Reaper Hellion here. He also didn't go for it. I believe he didn't go for it on Neo-Humanity, but... So, it appears the ramp to the natural is the defensive aspect that defines whether or not ByuN wants to go for the Reaper Hellion opener, like the 2 Reapers and the 1 Hellion. Because while I sometimes gloss or even skip over the early game, I think it's, especially for those trying to learn, possibly the most important. This is your only chance to actually replicate what these players are doing. Because as time goes on, let's be honest with ourselves here. On how much you're going to be able to keep up with. But the difference between the ramp and not is obviously the high ground vision. Makes it significantly easier to tell if your opponent's out of position. And players are somewhat discouraged from walling it off, as it can become a liability later on. Just like this Reaper wall here. Though, I think I can forgive anyone who uses a Reaper wall against ByuN. Because, you know, ByuN. Adept chasing, wanted to spot. He only has a Marine behind, so he got the reactor after 1 Marine. Which means he's going to have minimal units for a little while longer. The reactor finishes, but the Marines just started there. If 2 Adepts come into the natural, he's about to have a Hellion out to contest them, but ByuN is a bit vulnerable at this stage. Oracle on the way. He's not going to the Phoenixes. He's opting directly for the Oracle to start. Oh, Hellion comes out. He could just kill it, potentially. ByuN somehow, like, he's trying to bait the Adepts, but Well, he's the one who ends up suffering. A little cute there, but at some point... Well, Adept ends up getting a few kills. Kills, a couple SC... What? Come... How does this happen? He spots the Stargate, which was in possibly the safest position, which is directly next to the natural nexus. Oracle comes in. herO knows that the Oracle can easily beat the Marines, but ByuN, microing back, tries to bait him into the bunker. There's still a Widow Mine up there. No, like... Somehow ByuN, he almost beats the Oracle with, like, 3 or 4 Marines? Which, it takes 5. The number is 5. The number is supposed to be 5 Marines to kill an Oracle. Is there a Widow Mine? We saw a Widow Mine, but I believe it got loaded up into the medevac that's now speeding across the map. Alright. Double Widow Mine drop. 3 more SCVs. ByuN struggling. This Widow Mine drop needs to get some counter damage, but herO has all the tools he needs to shut it down. 2 Oracles here. Phoenixes to... Well, he might even get it before it can drop out. Okay, well that... Yeah, this is how you deal with Widow Mines. You need a Phoenix, you need the Stalkers, you got the Oracles, but if you bring them all together, then... If everything aligns, you can shut it down. And that is about the best case scenario for herO. As he takes 0 probe damage, he keeps all his key Stargate units alive, and he kills the mine drop with no losses. Phoenix trying to protect the Oracles. 5 kills. The Viking is ignoring the Phoenix to try to target the Oracle. No, it does eventually go down. No, wait. I guess he repaired, or kept it back enough. There is Banshee Cloak on the way, which is a fake. Especially as the Oracles come in. Bit optimistic. Oh, well. herO gets in with an Adept. A Banshee is revealed. An uncloaked Banshee is not going to do very much against someone with Phoenixes. Adept shades to the other side of things here. Decides to try to block the drop on the tech lab. Not going to be enough. And, well, if everything goes right, and ByuN gets nothing, now we finally get to see what herO wants to do. Charge, +1. More gates. 58 probes here. Stalkers waiting for an attempt at a move out. ByuN just now getting his first 2 medevacs. Still doesn't have any more Widow Mine production. He's been suffering economically, as herO has managed to keep the pressure on him with the Stargate units. Oracles, Phoenixes alike. Templar Archives on the way, though I suspect very much that is for a couple Archons, especially as Ghosts are nowhere close to being a part of this. A Robo being added on. Keeping 1 or 2 high Templar... Keeping 1 or 2 high Templar for feedback, potentially on a Raven, is always a cute, unreliable, but potentially game-changing move. An even more game-changing move that is even more of a reach is, of course, Storm. We have not yet seen it in this series, but Storm is halfway done. ByuN, threatening here. Not that scary, to be honest. He's got the triple threat finishing. Combat shield stim +1. We'll see. ByuN will know that... Does he not see the state? Wow. Wow. Oh. Oh, ByuN. That certainly... But stasis doesn't do any damage. He just decides that's it. No knowledge of Storm on the way. We were setting... I don't know where the Templar are. Wait, did he see the Templar? I'm not sure. With no knowledge of the Storm, and even if he saw the Templar... Either way, though, this is not an easy position. There's about 15 seconds where herO can warp in and set up his army, and it's very likely he will crush ByuN. But still, I am highly amused that ByuN taps out there before we can even see. Wow. Wow, what a mind game as well. Like, herO was finally like, yes, yes, finally. Ah. And ByuN just leaves. Like, he doesn't even get the opportunity. Wow. He just moves on with his life. Anyways, herO not going to be swept, at least. At the very least. Now, there are times in ByuN's career where a loss like that would have tilted him. Potentially out of the series. I don't think that's the ByuN of today. Especially that kind of move. Like, yeah, okay, once. But I'm very surprised he didn't spot the stasis. But, Jimmy. Game 5. We made it. In the top left. One more time. Since we're going a little further over an hour into this series. Not okay, well, it's a best of 7, but Micro Jackson, ByuN, as well as herO. So far, ByuN definitely a stronger presence, but herO strikes back. What is this? I don't, I mean, he's obviously doing something. I don't know why this is a better location than in the main. I guess maybe you have a pylon there to build shield battery or whatever you need later. It's a 2-gate. I mean, you can walk stalkers out faster. Okay. So herO pulling another card out. Building a zealot now off it. Yeah, I think that's the main factor, is a little bit closer rush distance. And having that pylon at the natural. 2 gas here. Another map where there's no ramp to the natural. I think that it works both ways. Like, 1, you know you can potentially get more damage with the Reaper Hellion. And 2, you know they can potentially get more damage with early units as well. So, it cuts both ways. Two zealots with a 2-gate. The Reaper, does he know the pathing? He's just gonna see the zealot. The zealot just started moving. I don't know how intentional it is, but this is certainly intentional. As herO gonna block the tech lab positioning. Will he cancel that? Or just leave it? He cancels it. Yeah, there's no real purpose in leaving it, as they can always just lower a depot to get out. Or move the barracks. 2 Reapers now. herO with 2 zealots, just the meat shields. But the bunker is going to be done in just a few more seconds. Has ByuN bought enough time? 1 shot, nope. Does not complete. And those Reapers are enough damage output to protect the reactor as it builds. A Depth Shade going to be used for a little bit of extra damage, but of course the Reapers come out, bounce. What? That was a weird graphical bug there. With the Adept bouncing while the Shade was out. He drops a supply depot here, but he does need it. As that is one thing that's fallen by the wayside. Pulling more to repair. High ground vision provided by Adepts. At least for those temporary shades, but a Cyclone, I think, will end this party. Unless the Stalkers are able to get the shots. A Zealot is committed. The Zealot dies outright. Overall, herO, he's expanding, but ByuN has his command center done on the high ground. So overall, with ByuN having 25 SCVs to 24 workers, his command center done, has all the tech, and the thing is, he hasn't lost anything. Not really. Besides a little bit of time. That's all any of us have. No, it's not wax philosophical. Wax technological instead. As Cloak Banshee, the choice here. We saw that kind of attempted last game. I think ByuN was thinking about like a big counterattack with a couple Cloak Banshees to go through shield batteries. Just too good of scouting for herO. Shut it down. The one thing herO's not going to have this game is Stargate units or active scouting. Oh, ByuN. A little bit messy pathing there. The Reapers ended up going the wrong way, and now they're not going any way at all. Adept drive-by lockout. I think ByuN realizes this was a 2-gate, but only now will he realize how much danger he was in. Yep. Cyclone taken out. And that's a lot of gateway units here. That Cloak Banshee, though, headed across the map. Both these players understanding. In many of these games, the best defense is a good offense. Especially ByuN, sending out units despite having such a minimal defense at home. Adept Shade. Is there any detection? There's no detection and no shield battery. Oh no. One at the natural. He was not expecting the Banshee at all. The Robo, I mean, maybe to get observers, but the Banshee comes in. Shield battery is too late. There's going to be a lot of probes. This Banshee is going to pay for itself. Maybe just in mining time. ByuN, very confident. He's going to see the Robo finishing. He's going to go for the sentries. And that sentry may very well die before the shield battery finishes. Indeed it does. So now he's gotten the sentry, and with it depowered out on the map as all the stalkers are chasing. The sheer kill count on this Banshee is relatively low, but its effect will reverberate as herO now forced back. He's already on very low tech. He's on gateway units and a Robo. He got a Twilight, but he got nothing from the Twilight. He can't afford it. Doesn't really have the gas right now, especially building observers. Triple Banshee, because why not? Banshees have great damage output. Non-blink stalkers, not a particularly incredible counter to them. Not just for killing probes, but just as part of the army. We've seen herO Marine using a lot of Banshees against Zerg, and now here's ByuN, adding them in to the anti-Protoss army. Quite specific scenario, but a blink on the way. herO has taken that third Nexus. In a precarious position, though. Banshee's headed for the main. With 3 Banshees, he can easily target probes through the shield battery, killing them before the battery can take effect. And, yeah, here we are. Just gotta time it out. And 3 Banshees can be a little bit less stingy. Oh. Might lose one. Does. Oh, that recall reeks of desperation as ByuN doing damage on both fronts. herO is in a very rough spot. Blink is a long way off. It doesn't get any better for him. An Immortal comes out. He needs to break this. ByuN has not reinforced this push. He's running out of time to do anything about it. Shield battery overcharge is off cooldown. ByuN sees the Immortal, realizes there's nothing left to be done here, and backs off. Right about the timing that herO had the army to potentially break him, he knows. The Banshees were pinning back enough Stalkers, but that couldn't last forever. Another Banshee still intact. Nope, shield battery does cover. ByuN has his third now. herO has... his tech is really... Blink Stalkers are not the be-all, end-all. They're your opening. They're your appetizer. But they shouldn't be your main course. 4 random medevacs and a nice pickoff there. Some Stalkers from the north side as well. The army supply here, though, for ByuN. Far outstripping. Combat shield quite late. But the main damage against the Stalkers comes from those Marauder. Oh, there's no direct anti-air. A few non-charged lots. Okay. Well, the Widow Mines are dealt with. And Stim, maybe, for the Warp Prism. Not sure what hit it on the way in. And it obviously took a lot of damage here. The Stalker's wandering up. 1 down. 2. Blinks away with the rest. Meanwhile, the Banshee's back. The shield battery's out of energy as well. Oh, he can't use the shield battery overcharge there. He needs it for the main army, but ByuN is setting up in a pretty disgusting tank position. There are 3 Immortals. No upgrades except for ByuN's +1. There goes the Nexus. And ByuN is tearing him apart right now. He blunks onto the tanks, but the Immortals left alone. A couple charge lots are not going to be enough to save them. And ByuN rips down the Immortals. The Probes slaughtered. The Stalkers are no match. And I wouldn't be surprised if that's... well... No. No. ByuN's done it. A bit of a cheeky stasis combo in an awkward spot was all herO could get. A couple games, maybe kind of close, but right now... Oh... ByuN is just on fire. Okay, someone call the fire chief or other fire-related people. That's how we end it. GG! ByuN takes the AlphaX Red Cross Cup in commanding fashion. As we run out of days, we now count the hours to the World Championships. It appears ByuN is a contender with the best of them. That was the #1 Protoss in the world. By a pretty large margin, especially since MaxPax isn't attending IM. This does not bode well for everyone else, I think. Jimmy! Well, thank you guys for watching. How do you like the blue hoodie? Well, not the more blue, not dark blue. I don't know. It's quite a lot, in my opinion. But check out, there's actually a merch link in the description if you care. But it's kind of expensive. Everything is. Except liking and subscribing if you enjoyed the video. Thank you to AlphaX. Thank you guys for watching. I hope I made your day a little bit better. And I'll see you next time. Thank you to AlphaX putting on all these great tournaments. I'll see you after IM Katowice, covering all the games as well. Anyways, check out the video. Good luck, have fun. Stay chill.